Hello and welcome to the Scale Modelling Cafe, and welcome to part one of the new project, which is this, the Arma Hobby 1/48 scale Hurricane 2C. This we've been waiting for a little while, and the excitement when some of the, when it was first announced, because Arma Hobby are renowned for producing beautiful 72nd scale kits, and they have done a 48 scale kit right at the beginning. But when some of the CAD was released and then the test shots, the detail screamed out of the screen and everyone got extremely excited, and here it is. So it's been out a little while. There are quite a few build projects out on YouTube land of this particular kit already. But I just build what I want to build, and I really want to build this kit. So as is traditional with this part one video, we'll have a look in the box and I'll talk through some of the aftermarket bits and pieces I've got for it, because you've got to have aftermarket, haven't you? And I'll save the markings to the end. Right, I've done a sprue tour of this video, so I'll put a link at the very end of the vid, so if you're not seeing that you can go and watch that. But let's open it up. Right, interesting box. It's an end opening box but a tray. I think that's quite cool. So the kit comes in sort of one plastic bag, quite a few sprues in there, and just the surface detail is utterly beautiful. So go ahead and have a look at the sprue tour video if you want. There is a little errata kind of sheet here. I've got a feeling that the landing lights have been transposed, and there's a little bit of sort of a bit of advice to just trim some of the strengthening thing out the way for that, to help those lights fit better. And if you want the canopy closed, you do need to remove some of the canopy sills. So that's in that little errata sheet. Oh, anyway, right, aftermarket then. I have got some aftermarket, even though it's a gorgeous kit. I've got these Ask sets, resin. So, exhausts. This is 3D printed resin. The exhausts in the kit, they're not quite the right shape. The right shape is a kind of curve like that. The ones in the kit have a flat underside, and they're solid. If you pre-ordered this kit with Arma, you could buy some of their resin exhausts. I'm wondering if they're the same as these, if I'm honest. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they've done their own. No idea. But I decided to buy some aftermarket resin ones. And I've got some cannon barrels as well. I wanted the master barrels, which are beautiful. However, funny old thing, as soon as this was announced, they rapidly went out of stock and there were none available. I believe they are available again now. Clearly they've gone, oh, right, and they produce a whole load more, which is good business sense. But, yeah, I've got a set of cannon barrels, and you actually get the long and the short version in here. So you can do two models with this, and I really want to do another one of these because it does look absolutely amazing. These look absolutely amazing as well, and obviously they are hollow, so yeah, just brilliant. I'm glad I've got those. There are some really nice schemes in the kit. There's only three. There is an all black night fighter. There is Stanford Tuck's aeroplane, and there is a Polish one in the sort of the mid to late war greys. Now, what scheme am I going to do this in? Bottom line, up front, bluff, as we used to say in Navy Command, I have absolutely no idea at this stage. Normally, I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I can launch off and go, right, yeah, I'm going to do that one, or at least have a short list. I did have a short list. The one I originally wanted to do was an 87 Squadron Night Intruder. When I came up with that idea, I thought that they were painted in medium sea grey, dark green over black. Actually, they were painted all black. They were then had a field applied camouflage the day before or the night before the Dieppe raid, and it was really shoddily done. And there's some great photos of these manky looking hurricanes, and you can see brush strokes and where they've gone over the markings a little bit, yeah, they really do look a bit shoddy. The grey especially was not ocean grey, it was mixed grey. Mixed grey was 7 parts medium sea grey to 1 part night black. So it's that step down from medium sea grey, but it's still considerably, it's still lighter than ocean grey. And on the 87 Squadron Hurricanes, you can see where different maintainers have mixed their own batches of this mixed grey, and it doesn't match. And 2 guys have been painting the same aeroplane in a rush, and where they've kind of butted up against each other, you can see there's different shades of grey on it. Now that would look quite cool, and Jen, who I know very well of her channel, Genesis Designs and Motorcraft, she's done one of those aeroplanes, and she's replicated very well the brush strokes. She sprayed the markings freehand and then went over it with a brush in certain areas and made it look like that, and she's done a great job. But I kind of wanted that medium sea grey green over black, and that's not quite correct. So I've done a whole load of research on Night Fighter and Night Intruder Hurricanes. And I know that 1 Squadron, 3 Squadron, 87 Squadron, I know 1 Squadron and 3 Squadron had ocean grey, dark green over black schemes. I also know that those 2 squadrons had medium sea grey over painted the black because they reverted to the day fighter bomber roll with the sky fuselage band spinner as well. And there's photos of those aeroplanes with the black, with the medium sea grey peeling off, leaving large areas of black underneath, and that looked quite cool. But yeah, there's something really cool about the black underside, I think. So one idea I have is to do 87 Squadron machine, having been repainted after Dieppe in ocean grey, dark green in the proper scheme, which it's likely that happened according to the sources. It's also likely that the codes were repainted to dull red. Now that's another thing about the codes. They are lighter than the medium sea grey. So one source I found said that they were painted in sky grey. Another source said they were painted in sky. Another source said they were painted in medium sea grey. And honestly, you could paint it in any of those colours, and no one's really going to know because, you know, no one has yet found any documentary evidence or whatever to what they were painted in, or what they were likely painted in. So that's that one. There are photos of 1 Squadron aeroplanes in ocean grey, dark green, red codes, sky fuselage band over the black underside. So before the medium sea grey underside was overpainted. So I might do that as well. Now I did buy this Montex set, which has 87 Squadron markings on there, which is the LK. So I thought I could do that in ocean grey, dark green over black, using the LK, doing it in red. So that's still a possibility. I still might do an all over black one, because I do like the all over black in with these markings, with the big A1. I think they're A1, aren't they? These big early war roundels. There are photos of a few with the underside roundel as well, which would be quite nice. But I'm not sure whether there's any photos of those with the underwing fuel tanks on, and I quite fancy underwing fuel tanks. I did find a photograph of a Hurricane 2C night fighter in the later medium sea grey, dark green, disruptive on the top camouflage. I think it was done for a trial, but really all the Hurricane on the front line, they were all withdrawn and replaced with bow fighters for the Night Intruder role, and then obviously later on Mosquito. So yeah, and it looked a bit too clean and light for me. So that's still a possibility. I'm a massive fan of Stanford Tuck. I read his book as a kid, and it's literally fallen apart. I've read it so many times, his book. But for me, a 2C in green and brown just doesn't look right. So that's out the window at all, completely. And yeah, maybe, but that with the black underside, much better. The other way I may go down is, the other route I may go down is, on the sprues here is the tropical filter. So I'm thinking, why don't I just bite the bullet and do a tropical one? A desert Hurricane, yeah, quite nice, especially with the big roundels underneath, quite nice. Could do that, or I could do a Far East one in the sort of Burma scheme, not green and brown, but the ocean grey dark green with the white fuselage bands. I quite like that, but the roundels are teeny tiny, the two-tone teeny tiny roundels, and I don't really like that very much. So, oh yeah, maybe. The other one is the Soviets did operate some 2Cs, I think. I've seen some profiles of Hurricane 2Cs in Soviet service, one with a winter whitewash. That would be quite cool. But I cannot find a photograph of a 2C in Soviet Russian winter whitewash. I've seen a profile, but I haven't seen a photo, and I'm reluctant to go down that route. Although, yeah, I really quite fancy doing. I could do a winter whitewash again, but I've just done a winter whitewash on the 109F in 72nd scale, so I really am in a bit of a turmoil. That is a real rambling about the colour scheme on this thing. It's a beautiful kit, but I really, as I sit here now, I have no idea what I'm going to do. All I've got out here with me is the decal sheet and that Montex set. So really my choices are limited. I could do a one squadron using the maybe the JX decals from the kit. I could convert it to JXF because this is E, just slice the bottom off. I could make it into T. I could do that, and I could make up a serial with the serial that's in there. I could do that. I could do the LK aeroplane, and I could do 87 Squadron. I could do that. What I have got at home is I've ordered a Portraits Silhouette 3 cutter machine and some Auramask 810 masking film. So I could, and I am going to start cutting my own masks. I need to learn how to use it all. I need to get it out here first. Now I've only got a few days modelling time, bench time, before I go back home for a week. So there's no way this thing's going to be ready for paint anyway by the time I go home. So what I could do is order some decal sheets or even Montex sets as a sort of stopgap before I learn how to use my silhouette cutter thing. So I could carry on doing some research and not do any of those and just pick something else. I really have no idea. And it's a nightmare. I'm not normally like this. Normally I've got vision and I know exactly what I'm going to do. So, yeah, no idea. What I do want to do though is something with quite a bit of weathering on it. That is a must. There we are. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there, and I'll carry on prevaricating and procrastinating, and have a get my thinking cap on, and we'll see what I come up with. But suffice to say, I'm really excited about starting this. I haven't been this excited about a kit for a very long time. The kit just looks utterly astonishing, and some of the builds I've seen so far, I know it's going to fall together. The detail is amazing. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to add a few cables and things in the cockpit, but not too much. And yeah, it really is exciting. But there we go. I'm going to leave it there, and the next part you'll see me starting this kit. I don't even know whether that's going to be the cockpit. It might not be, but we shall see. There we are. Right, I'm going to carry on waffling in my own head while I try and work out how to paint the thing, and I'll see you in part 2. So cheers, bye-bye.